Hello and welcome to this video on how to play the tune Wooden Heart. This tune reminds me of my childhood because it was sung by Elvis Presley, I think late 50s, early 60s, and that's where I got to learn the tune, although I think it's an old German tune called Musik den or Musik den. But anyway, we're going to call it Wooden Heart, and the sheet looks pretty terrifying because there's lots of stuff on it. But you've got everything from a very easy version to the full tune to a strumming version. So I'm going to deal with all those versions. I'm going to play along with a little recording I made a few weeks ago on my banjo. So let's get started. First of all, let's look at the tablature. That's the proper tune. That's probably what you'll want to play. You'll notice that it's 4/4 time. That means 4 beats in the bar. And I've done it so you've got to count it fairly quickly. You're counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, and 3, 4, 1, like that. Don't worry if you can't keep up with that speed at first, you can always sort of play it, gradually build the speed up. But that's the sort of feel of the tempo, the pulse of the tune, if you like. So you can see tab, T-A-B, that means that's short for tablature. Then you've got thick line, thin line, and 2 dots. That's a repeat code we'll come back to later. 4/4, as I've mentioned, is 4 beats in the bar. And then you can see a little block kind of glued to one of the lines of the tablature. And this is telling you that it's a 2 beat or a minim rest. So you start with 1, 2, and you come in on beat 3 with that open G. 1, 2, 3, 4. See? 1, 2, 3, 4. And unless I tell you otherwise, use your first finger first fret, second finger second fret, third finger third fret. And then you're into the first complete bar and you start with a minim followed by 2 crotchets. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that open B is a minim, 2 beats, 1, 2, 3, 4, and the open B and the 3 beat are a crotchet each. So they come on beats 3 and 4. So far we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then in the next bar you've got 1, 2, 3, 4. So you've got that minim, 2 crotchets arrangement. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then in the next bar, the 4th bar, is a little bit more interesting, isn't it? You've got a dotted crotchet, which is 1.5 beats. That's the 3rd fret of the B string. And then you've got an open E, back to the 3rd fret of the B string, down to the 1st fret of the B string. Now, how do you count that? Well, the 3rd fret of the B string starts on beat 1, and it lasts for the whole of beat 1 and half of beat 2. So what I do, I go 1, 2, and 3, 4. And where the open E is, I say and. 1, 2, and 3, 4. Sometimes I do a little breath there, like that. The breath takes up the right amount of time for that dot. The dot basically adds on half of the original value. So if the original value is 1 and you've got a half, it becomes 1.5, you see? 1, 2, and 3, 4. And then it couldn't be much easier in the next bar because you've got an open B, which is the only note of the bar, so it's a 4 beat note or a semi-breve. 2, 3, 4. Same as the previous bar then. Next line. And you've got 2 bars we have a minim and 2 crotchets. A 2 beat note followed by 2 1 beat notes. 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And the 3rd bar of the second line, it's 2nd fret of the G, 3rd fret of the B, and they're minims each, 2 beats each. And then you've got an open B, which is a 4 beat note, semi-breve. Back in. All the same as before. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. So it's much the same as before, slightly different on the end of that section. So if you now go to the 4th line, beginning of the 4th line, you're confronted with a minim rest, a 2 beat rest. 1, 2, 3, 4, and you're about to go into the B section of the tune. And this is... Now, you've got open G, open B, and those are crotchets, 1 beat each. Now you have something you haven't come across before in the tune now. This note is a dotted note, but not a dotted crotchet. This one's a dotted minim, and it lasts for 3 beats. A minim lasts for 2, add on half of 2, and that's 1. 2 plus 1 is 3. So 3 beat note, 1, 2, 3, 4. So that 2G is a minim, a dotted minim, a 3 beat note, 2, 3, and the open B comes on beat 4. 2, 3, 4. 2 minims, and then minims, and then minim and 2 crotchets. Minim, 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 2 crotchets, and third fret of the B string, which is a semi-brief. So that is your B section, or if you like, your middle 8. And then you come back in with your first bit again. And this time you have what we call ending number 1. Now if you look at the one but last line, you'll see the last 3 bars have a horizontal line above them, and at the beginning of that horizontal line you can see 1, and I put ending 1 there. Okay, so that is 1, 2, 3 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you've got the 2 dots, thin line, thick line, and I mentioned that earlier in the lesson. You look for where that sign goes the other way, and sure enough it's at the beginning, so you then start again. Come all the way through again. When you get to ending number 1 this time, which is the second bar of the one but last line, don't do that. Jump to the last line of tablature, which is ending number 2, and do that instead. Okay, so ending 2 is, and the last 3 bars of tablature have nothing in them, and so they have a whole bar's rest, which looks very similar to a minim rest, except that it hangs from a line rather than sits on one. Okay? Right, let's just play the tune through. I'll play it with my bit of banjo, and then it'll make a bit more sense because I can fill in the gaps with my banjo a bit more, like this.
1, 2, 3.
Middle bit. Ending 1. And top of the page again. Here we go. Middle bit. Coming to the end now. Ending 2 now. And of course that was pretty quick, wasn't it? Let's play it for you again. This time I won't play along the banjo, I'll just play the tune without any accompaniment so that I can play it a little bit of a slower pace for you. So I will count you in with a 1, 2. 1, 2. Two. 2, 3. 2. 2, 3, 4. Ending 1. And go from the top of the page again. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. Middle section. 1, 2. 2, 3, 4. Ending 2 now. Bottom line. 2, 3, 4. Rest. 2, 3, 4. Rest. 2, 3, 4. Rest. 2, 3, 4. So that is the full tune, and it's a really good little tune to play, isn't it? If you find you struggle with that, it's the usual thing. Play the notes in the boxes, and generally it's a note every other bar. So you're playing open B, da 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 da, 3 B, da 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 da, 3 B, da 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 da, and it's 1 B, da da, open B, that kind of thing. Where that changes is right at the very end of the tune, because there it's so easy. I decided to put a 3E on every bar there, so that the ending 2 is do 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 3E do do 3E do do 3E do do 3E. So you will actually be playing there where the main guitarist won't be playing, where the guitarist who are playing the full tune will have stopped playing, but you'll be playing that little note 3E all the way through that. So let's just play a bit of that with the track. 1, 2, 3. So it's every 8 beats. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 5, 6, 7, 8. 3B, and again. 5, 6, 7. So count fairly quickly if you're playing along with this. 2G here. Open B. Open E. 3B. So on. Ending 1 here, and start again, top of the page, open B. You can keep the note ringing on, that sounds nice, don't have to stop it quickly. 3B again, 1B. Open G. Now the B section, the second section of the tune, 2G. Open B. Open E. 3B. Open B. 3B. And again. Now ending 2, and here's we're going to play 3E every bar. You saw that I played that note 4 times in a row with only 4 counts between the notes. So that's 2 versions of our tune. We played the proper tune, we played the easy version of the tune. Let's deal with the chords now.